Welcome to the Do You Believe Addendum edition of Basketball Illuminati. I'm Zach Harper. That's Jay King filling in for Mo Dakil, who, I don't know. We don't know where he is. He's somewhere in the world. He's like Carmen Sandiego now. And proud American Wosny Lambre. You can catch Jay's work on Still Potable, the Celtics podcast that he does, which I guess is an off-season podcast now. And check his writing out, which is now off-season writing about the Boston Celtics on The Athletic. Subscribe to The Athletic. And check out Wos's work at The Ringer on the podcast. And he owns HBO Max now. So
Ringer NBA show, group chat specifically.
Group chat specifically.
True Hoop alum Justin Verrier.
That's right.
And Rob Mahoney, my brother.
And Rob
too.
Mahoney, yeah. He was the two-man game, former Mavs blogger. And Kevin McHale disciple in terms of just pivots in the post annoyingly.
You've actually hooped with Rob Mahoney. I heard he's pretty good.
He's good. He's legit.
Oh,
yeah.
word.
Yeah.
It's not like
actually play. It's not like a J. It's not like a J King thing. Like he can actually hoop.
Zach's takes.
No, he can actually hoop. Like he can
basketball players.
No, he's like a legit.
Jalen Green is fantastic.
Jalen Green can hoop. No, but Rob is like fundamentally sound. Like he would play the way like he plays like a white. Like Jay would love. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
What's the Jay King scouting report?
Oh my God.
I'm a gunner.
He's a shot jacker. Yeah, like for someone who gives me a shit for liking gunners, he just doesn't like it that I don't like white players.
That's not true.
That is true. I like Jason Williams. I like Mike Miller.
I don't like players who play like me.
Zach, for some reason when you said Mike Miller, I thought you said Mike Bibby and was doing a joke, and I was what?
That's one. A weird joke to make, and two, inaccurate. I don't like Mike Bibby. I only like white chocolate. All right. I think that's enough. That's enough cold open pre-show banter. Let's get into our topics because we got a lot to discuss. Do you believe, topic number one, do you believe Knicks Pacers game one was the game of the year? Knicks were up 14 points with 2:51 left. They were up 9 points with 58 seconds left. Both had never been done since 1998. Aaron Nesmith, 6 3-pointers with less than 5 minutes to go. Hit 6 3-pointers in the final 5 minutes. Tyrese Halliburton down 2 after the Knicks had just choked a bunch of free throws away, turned the ball over a couple of times. Tyrese Halliburton goes for the drive. Nope. Brings it back out. Thought he hit a game-winning 3 off a crazy bounce off the rim. Hits it. It goes in. Runs. Does the choke sign. Reggie Miller's there. He's giggling on the broadcast. We review it. It's just a 2. Halliburton said afterwards he wouldn't have done the choke sign if he knew that it was a 2 instead of a 3, and then said something about aura jacking, or I don't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Aura farming.
Aura farming. What is that? What does that mean?
These new terms, man, I can't keep up.
I hate that, yeah. But they did go to overtime. Pacers outlast the Knicks in overtime. This third time the Pacers have been down 7 with under a minute and come back to win the game in these playoffs.
It's impossible.
It doesn't make any sense. This is, I think, bigger than that Cavs win. Like, that's crazier to me. Knicks famously erased huge deficits against the Celtics, as Jay covered. So, Jay, is the key to this series just being down in the fourth quarter? Do you want to be down in the fourth quarter in order to win?
Not only were they down 9 with 51 seconds left, the Knicks scored on 4 of their final 5 possessions.
Yeah.
They missed one of 2 free throws on a couple of times, but still, they kept scoring. And the Pacers, it didn't matter because Aaron Nesmith just hit threes. After three.
Yeah.
They let Aaron Nesmith get too hot. Is that one of the best
King,
shooting performances
Nobody's
ever? Is
ever
it the
said
best
that in the history of life.
Not even
they let Aaron Nesmith get too hot?
Not in college, not in high school, not in grade school.
That's never
been said
ever.
In high school, they used to say it. They used to say it a lot in high school.
Can't let Nesmith get hot.
Don't let him get too hot.
You can't let Nesmith get hot.
I saw the stat that they scored 23 points after the 320-something mark.
Yeah.
Which means the Knicks scored 12 in that span. If you extrapolate that over a quarter, that's 30-something points. They had a great quarter, basically.
Had a great finish.
They
had a great finish. The
fine.
Pacers just had a Space Jam finish.
Insane.
It was one of the craziest collapses because they didn't collapse. Other than the missed free throws,
which bro should have made the free throws.
Yes,
agreed.
And they probably should have ran clock on the OG turnover.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a complete shit the bed collapse, bro.
Right, it wasn't.
Right,
it wasn't.
No, it's like I don't think yes, the free throws missed. Like you have to fault them for losing the game, but I don't know that you can kill them for losing the game. It's one of the few times where you look at the Knicks blowing a lead and it's like, I don't know.
I mean, understand
as Jay said, they let Aaron Nesmith get too hot, I guess.
Jay King, what do you remember about Aaron Nesmith's time in Boston?
He sucked.
He was
terrible.
He was a danger to everybody on both teams. The way he played, he was never in control, totally reckless.
He was so bad. I was like, he'll be out of the league soon. And then and then went to Indiana. Was great. Almost instantly.
Marcus Smart started calling him Crash. Jaylen Brown tweeted
when Marcus Smart's saying you're too reckless physically. That's crazy.
I don't watch the Simpsons, but the meme of Ralph Wiggum jumping through a window.
Yeah,
Jaylen Brown tweeted that about Aaron Nesmith. That's how he played. And
oh my God, son. To see him do that last night, our producer Isaiah on Ringer NBA show is a huge Celtics fan. He's a Celtics diehard. And last year, even when Nesmith, he was like, bro, this kid was nowhere close to this on the Celtics. So every time this guy makes a three, I just think of Isaiah because the dude couldn't shoot. He could not shoot, bro. And now he's a marksman. he's better than Steph Curry.
He was a great college shooter. He was a great high school shooter. I think the thing about him that's really helped the Pacers is he won't give up. He's going to play a million miles an hour no matter what. If they're down 9 in the final minute, if they're down 14 with 2 minutes left, it doesn't matter. That dude is going to keep playing and playing and playing. And that's how the Pacers have done this. They just 3 of the most stunning comebacks in NBA history.
He had 20 points in a 4-minute and 10-second stretch. 20. He had 6 threes and 2 free throws.
That is fucking insane, dude.
It was Halliburton who did the choke, but it was Nesmith who was Reggie Miller.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. I don't think it was strategy of we're fouling up 3 when they fouled Nesmith on the wing. I don't think it was we're up 3, you foul, because I think it was Aaron Nesmith. We can't let him get a 3-pointer off. I think it was a different strategy. I think it was don't let him shoot. You have to do something different here. It wasn't an analytical thing. It was survival. It was it was crazy.
They fouled early. It was 12.6 seconds left. You don't normally see the foul a guy before a 3 that early.
No.
Because you leave yourself so much time to screw up and miss a free throw yourself. And they almost lost in regulation.
Yeah. I mean,
they were an inch away from They were Kevin Durant's heel away from.
Yeah. The balls on Halliburton too to pull that back out. Maybe he thought I don't have the angle for the layup, but I really think he just
it's
thought
Robinson too. Yeah. You don't want to try to shoot over
for sure. But I think he also thought I just did this against Cleveland. Fuck these guys. I'm going for the win here.
I thought the shot missed.
Of course. It bounced 30 feet in the air.
I was like, oh wow, I can't believe the Knicks ended up pulling this out.
The world thought of it.
To the Raptors.
Literally.
It bounced that media seating up there.
I was just looking at the TV
it damn near hit Steph Bondy up there. What are you talking about? Of course.
What? What?
Yeah.
Damn near hit Steph Bondy.
Then of course it's a 2.
Yeah.
Halliburton was incredible too, though.
Man, he's a killer.
He was incredible. He was finishing in the lane, which he's not known to do. That like drive and Nembhard beats, I guess it's Josh Hart, backdoor.
Yeah, that little cut, backdoor.
Obviously the shot, just, I don't know. It's funny because, and I was saying this yesterday, I'm like, the Knicks looked better last night and lost. And normally I would shake this off, except for the previous series where the Celtics looked better than the Knicks and lost. Like, you gotta fucking finish these games like where you would clearly play better than the other team.
It's funny, like in our live blog on The Athletic last night, James Edwards III called it. It was like an 18-point game, right? 16 or 18-point game. I can't remember what it was. Like, I think it was maybe 118 to 102 with like 7 minutes left. And James Edwards, like, whatever play made it that, was like, that's it. And Eric Neem is like, I wouldn't count these Pacers out. Seen it too many times. And then with like a minute left, I think Law Murray was like, that's why you don't have a fake comeback. And he's like, it's not over. Like, Eric Neem again is like, it's not over. Like, it's not like, we got time here. And like, he must have said it like 3 or 4 times on the live blog. And then you have this. And it is like, the Pacers are like, even if you beat them and you get to the press conference, I would still expect them to like have one more comeback in them. Like, they're just like, they're nuts.
What do you guys feel about the writers who left to the press room during the fourth quarter?
Fuck them. I love, because I've never had to really write on deadline. I think it's hilarious.
Why?
I've no sympathy.
How do you leave during the fourth quarter of a playoff game? Like, I
don't understand.
You have to be out there in case something.
I don't understand that.
Not even just a comeback. Like,
you can write. You can write there. You're writing there, aren't you?
A fight breaks. I don't know. Like, why?
Madison Square Garden. It's really tough. So you're on the second level.
Yeah, it's awful.
And to get down to the press room, you have to like go down the stairs where all the fans are, and it can get really congested.
For sure. It's awful.
And you can be late. And so I understand why they wanted to rush out of there, but also like it's a playoff game. It's the Eastern Conference Finals.
You risk it.
How could
They'll
you
have transcripts.
possibly go early?
They'll have transcripts. And your question's not going to be so revolutionary that you have to get it in. Whatever you're going to ask, someone else will ask. You can't leave early on that. That's crazy.
Do it.
Do you think the Knicks, how do you think the Knicks recover from that? Can you just brush that off?
Bro,
like, I don't think it's like it's game one. It's game one. So like, and the Knicks are pretty resilient. So I don't think it's like, oh no, they're screwed. But that is like game one to lose that way at home. It's not nothing.
It sucks to lose, but at the same time, their offense hasn't looked as good the entire playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, Karl Towns felt like a guy who had constant matchup advantages.
He torches Indiana for his career.
Anytime Nesmith wasn't guarding Brunson, it felt completely hopeless.
Yeah.
Like, your offense is like,
I mean, Carlisle got so desperate.
Breathe again.
Like, what was it? Like 4 minutes left. He's like, Ben Shepherd, come on down. You're going to guard Jalen Brunson.
I think you're happy about, like, Boston played good ass defense against them. Like, they didn't score well against Boston. Same with Detroit. Karl Towns, like, didn't have a great Detroit series. Brunson obviously had those great fourth quarters, but like, their offense hasn't been good the entire playoffs except for this freaking Indiana Pacers game. Yeah. So like, that's something to hang your hat on. And then
I think my concern though would be Towns and Brunson scored, but there wasn't much synergy between the two, right? Like, it's not like they were playing off each other. I know. Well, yeah, I guess you're not going to like discover that in the like round 3 of the playoffs. It
was a weird game too. Like, they were up 2, I think, when Brunson got his 5th foul and then went on a crazy run.
And then went on a 10-0 run, right?
With Brunson on the bench. So they would have felt great about themselves if they just finished it off. Like you win the game when Brunson gets in foul trouble and has to sit in the fourth quarter.
For sure.
They did not win that game.
No.
Nope. But I do think it's going to be a good Town series. Like, Tobias Harris did a really good job on him in the first round. Jason Tatum guarded him for much of the second round.
Tobias Harris didn't do it. Tobias Harris had one like good game on him, and everyone ran with it. And then the rest of the time, it was just whether or not they got Karl the ball.
But the Pacers have, with the exception of Siakam, who's not the like most sturdy guy, they have a lot of smaller wings. And I feel like they're just set up for Towns to have a good series.
Exactly. They can't switch the pick and roll like Boston just did relentlessly.
Yeah, Cat's highest scoring average for his career is against Indiana. And it's like it's 27.8 points per game. And it's on like 67% true shooting. He hit 40 on them in February. Like he torches Miles Turner and the Pacers every time. Like this is like a matchup for him. Like they can't let this go through stretches where he doesn't get the ball. Like this is a favorable matchup for him every single time throughout his career. So he has to they have to make sure he gets the ball. Like they'll get 30 from him every game if they just don't forget about him.
Also, I think the Knicks got to stop smelling themselves and think that they can play this high-paced game with the Pacers.
Can't run with them.
You don't want to do this.
Not for 7 games either.
I get it. You don't respect these guys, and you're like, whatever, we'll play whatever style we want against these guys.
We're still doing this with the Pacers?
Stop, bro.
This team's good.
Stop.
This team's really good.
Slow this shit down to a snail's pace.
Grind them out.
And beat them up physically. Yeah.
I'm cool with running against the Pacers because you almost have to. Like they pick up full, they force you to like kind of play their pace, but where you have to slow the game down is with your defense. To me, like,
well, yeah, you got to get back.
You can't. They run off makes.
Yeah,
they're just. They're tough.
That's why I think you have.
That's why I think they just have they play with so much freedom.
Yeah,
they play even like their 8th, 9th guys just have the freedom to just go and make plays. Like TJ McConnell comes in with a star's leash.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
like I want to give a shout out to Carlisle. Facts, because he's been an upper echelon NBA coach for 20 fucking years now, bro. Like he had an original Pacers stint. He's been around so freaking long, and like this style of play has not always been associated with Rick Carlisle ball.
No, he's adapted
at all.
Yeah, this is like 2 years ago. They were like,
now
all right,
he switched it up to suit the personnel, to suit his superstar. You know, shouts to them. And another thing I want to do is give a shout out to their GMs and management.
This is how I found out Kevin Pritchard listens to the pod.
Because no, it's because, you know, people in our profession, they always want to slurp the asset accumulation and he drafted, he got a draft pick. Oh my God, look at the draft picks. Oh my God. That's not what this team did to build a winner. They never bottomed out. They never, you know, decided to behave like, you know, a scrub ass. Oh, we need to accumulate the ping pong balls and blah, blah, blah. They did it a different way. And look at it working.
He sure did. Yeah.
And look at it working beautifully.
Do you know who their last top 5 pick was?
Jonathan Bender.
No.
Jonathan Bender was a good guess, though.
It was a good guess.
Also, great name drop.
Indy doesn't pick in the top 5.
You're right. It was 37 years ago. It was Rick Smith, number 2.
That's
their last top 5 picks.
Oh, wow. I loved Rick Smith.
I bet you did. Let's move on to the next topic. Do you believe the Wolves bounced back against the Thunder? Wolves trailed 94-84 with 5:07 left, and then the Thunder went on a 20-4 run to finish 114-88. Wolves shot 15 of 51 from 3, were outscored 54-20 in the paint. But I will tell you, Wolves were 8 of 30 on wide open threes. While the turnover margin was close, Wolves had 19, Thunder had 15. The points
you said 8 of 30 or 8 of 20?
8 of 30 on wide open threes.
I was about to say 8 of 20 is good.
No. That would have been great. Yeah. They were 8 of 30. Thunder outscored them 31-10 off points off turnovers. I believe 13 of the 19 turnovers were live ball turnovers. Anthony Edwards also turned his ankle in the second quarter for like the 5th time this postseason. May have limited his play. He only had 18 points. Can the Wolves flip the script and take game 2 tonight in OKC? Wosny Lambre.
I think so. And obviously, I think Coach Finch is going to do some nice adjustments and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But most importantly, I think the discourse has run away from the league with the Shea fouls. Mm-hmm. And I think we're to see some leveling on the playing field.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. We're gonna get to that in a little bit.
The playing field, and we are gonna get into it. But I do think they're gonna be smarter about jacking so many threes. I know. I get it. The Thunder pack the paint. They make it really hard. I
think their shot selection, at least in the first 3 quarters, was great.
I thought they started shooting lazy threes in the second half, though. Like one pass.
I would say halfway. Yeah,
they were open, but they didn't look for something better.
But I mean, all right. Dante DiVincenzo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Mike Conley, Naz Reid shot a combined 6 of 33. 6 of 30 for those guys. And the majority of their shots, Naz started shooting very lazy shots towards the end of the third quarter. I'm with you. But the majority of their shots were good, in rhythm, open shots. And I'm just you got to trust those guys to knock down shots.
I don't trust the Timberwolves at all. Not to knock down shots. I'll trust them to knock down more shots than they did. But it's just the turnovers in this matchup, especially.
Sure,
they were 19th in turnover rate during the regular season. They entered this series 11th out of 16 playoff teams in turnover rate.
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards is prone to turnovers. Julius Randle is prone to turnovers. And this Thunder team is more disruptive than any we've seen in a long
Randle
time.
turning his back to the defense 5 times.
That was crazy, yeah.
There's 3 guys immediately coming to pick his
As soon as he fucking turns his back.
The second he turns his back.
Yeah, that was frustrating to watch.
Well, if you trust them to hit shots, then they hit a lot more 3-pointers in this game, right?
I
just think turnovers is going to be too much of an issue. This is a brutal matchup for a team that turns it over a lot.
I don't disagree with that, but I also think that Ant can be better. That's what I think it ultimately comes down to. The Denver series, it wasn't adjustments that got them in the series. It was Jokic and Murray playing good. Yeah. And I think Ant has the capacity to play well against this team.
How many free throws will he be granted in game 2?
To me, Randall is the free throw bellwether. He's the one that they literally were teeing off on.
But after the Shea stuff, it's going to go to Ant.
We're going to get to the free throws. Calm down. There's a whole rundown. We're going to get to the free throws. But no, I think it's more, I don't think it's about how many he'll be granted. I think it's more about the level of physicality will be allowed. Now, do you know who the referees are tonight?
No.
Don't say it.
Please tell me.
Don't say it.
It's not only Scott Foster.
Oh, my God.
It's your boy, Tony Brothers. So we actually have no idea how this is going to go. There's no way of predicting. I have a group chat. I have a group chat of a bunch of friends. There's 8 friends in Minneapolis who are in this group chat, and they're all going over all this stuff. Oh, this guy. And I looked at the referee. I said, guys, it's Tony Brothers and Scott Foster night. You can't predict anything. There's no way of knowing how this is going to be called. Absolutely no way.
It's going to be brilliant.
Good luck. Oh, it's going to be. I was it could go any way. Against both teams, against one team, against the other team. Who knows? But I think for the Wolves, if they generated the same looks in the first 2.5, 3 quarters, I would trust them to knock those down, and it's a completely different game. They should have been up 15, 20 points at halftime.
Yeah,
based on the looks that they were generating. And it's not just, you're right, the turnovers are a problem, but they defended well in the first half, and they got great looks. And if they shoot how they normally shoot, they're up big. Now, OKC's still going to make a run.
They need more from Rudy.
They need anything from Rudy. He was awful.
He's got to play better.
Yeah, he's
capable of playing better.
Of course,
I don't think he's capable of being an actual big man who bodies up 6'4" guys. Doesn't allow 6'3" guys to guard him. 6'3", 180 pounds, by the way.
At what point do you think in a player's career, because he was 2013, so this is 12, 13 years in. When do they teach you to keep the ball high?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, when do they learn how to catch the ball?
When do they teach you how to keep the ball high?
That comes before keeping the ball high.
He had some of the worst Rudy catches, discombobulated. He catches the ball on the run 6 feet from the basket.
He fucking
two steps, you're at the cup. He turned his back and did this. That was insane, bro.
Yeah, that was about as bad as he could play.
And I don't think that he's going to start pulverizing the switches in this series. because their guards are too tough. Where he needs to hurt them is on the glass. He had one offensive rebound in game one. He should have 4. He should have 5. He should have 6.
If he's good on the glass on both ends of the floor and he protects the rim, he'll have a good game. That's all they need from him. And just no turnovers. Don't bring the ball down low. That's all they need from him. Like, they don't need him to punish anything. Like, just secure the ball. That's it. You don't need to go out there and be Shaq or whatever you were in Game 5 against the Lakers. That's not necessary.
It'd be funny if he tried.
Could he post up Case and Wallace?
No.
Like, exactly. Seriously, bro.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I think that's the part about Naz Reid having such a bad game is Naz Reid is actually a good matchup for the Wolves in this series when he's making shots. Like, he's a good pivot for especially when Rudy's having a bad game. All right, you bring Naz Reid, it's a completely different look, especially when Randall was having a good first half and a miserable second half. But like, if you have that combination, all right, that's a look that now the Thunder have to go and defend differently, and now maybe it opens up things for Ant. I don't know how healthy his ankle was at that point, but he had bursts of athleticism. I don't know if he could consistently go, but he wasn't hobbled completely. So like, I think you have to trust that if he has space, he can do some things. But with Naz, I think he airballed 2 of his shots. Like,
I thought
he was horrible.
He was awful.
And things really opened up for
I've ever seen him play.
Things really opened up for Shea too once they started going away from Gobert. It's really hard for them to protect the rim against this team with as many guys can put it on the floor as the Thunder have when you have just Julius Randle and Naz Reid out there.
Well, speaking of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, our next topic. Do you believe that drawing fouls is a skill? Newly crowned MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has ignited a roaring controversy in Game 1 as Doris Burke lifted the free throw merchant title from NBA Twitter to the broadcast booth. It's actually foul merchant, but she rebranded as free throw merchant. Jaden McDaniels fouled out in 24 minutes as Shai drew 13 fouls in Game 1. The narrative continued with Jalen Brunson in New York, as he and Shai both attempted 14 free throws in their respective Game 1s. Many media members, including our own Tom Haberstroh and Amin Al-Hassan, were quick to point out Shai's free throw numbers are insignificantly low from a historical perspective. What? So where do you stand on a great foul grifting debate? That's 14's a lot.
I don't give a damn about history here. I don't care what it's like against the MVPs of the past. I don't. What really matters here is that the Thunder get away with everything.
Yes.
They are out near half court bodying you. They have their hands on you. They never get called for fouls. Caruso is manhandling guys. Lou Dort is manhandling guys. They don't get called for fouls. And then you flip it and Shai is going to the line for getting normal star calls. And so it's not to me the whistle for Shai as much as the whistle that the Thunder defense gets. That pisses off everybody.
Bang.
I think the only problem I really have with the calls that Shai or Jalen Brunson or really any star gets, and Luka gets this too, is when they fall down and there's a whistle. Because like I would say half the time there's no contact. They just fall. And it's like, oh, he fell. He must have gotten tripped without actually seeing contact. And at that point, I'm like, all right, man, like, come on. There was a funny one I saw a clip today where Jalen Brunson last night, I think Nembhard was guarding him, and he grabbed Nembhard's hand or arm with his arm and like pushed it up and made Nembhard hit him in the face, and then like flop backward. That's fucking hilarious. That's brilliant. That's brilliant right there. But that's like, I think to me, I mean, you're right. Like there was a play where Caruso flopped on like contact that shouldn't even.
Also,
it wasn't even a charge.
Fucking flopper, my God! The way you foul motherfuckers every play, and then you just collapse like a deck of cards every time somebody breathes on you.
I think it's just like it just has to be. I mean, I had the same issue with Jokic of like you're shoving people. You're the strongest guy in the league, and then somehow Caruso knocked you down with a little touch like that. Like it's the flopping that like
do that against OKC though.
You have to.
If you don't accentuate the contact, it's not going to.
But Jokic does that against everybody. Jokic is like one of the best floppers in the league. No, I know we don't talk about that because we're not allowed to like criticize Jokic.
But too, though.
Sure, stars get fouled, and especially like big stars, strong stars get fouled.
My
but he flops too.
Zach, is if you look at what gets called as foul, like I think Shea does generate contact. It's
absolutely,
just the level of contact that he gets fouls called for, and Jokic and Julius Randle, like, I'm sorry, bro, they are beating the shit out of these dudes. Well, once they start going towards the basket.
The Jokic thing is the whole Shaq thing, right? Like, if you are dishing out a certain level of punishment because of your size, then they make it
Shea
relative.
Is Billy clubbing people too with the off arm.
Sure, but he's 6'6" and slender. Right, like, and has a Skims sponsorship. Like, it's going to be handled differently than if you race horses for a living.
Just saying.
He does.
I'm just saying. There were consecutive plays where Julius Randle is backing a dude down, goes to the post, like he got absolutely hammered. Play on. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
Stay, bro. The contact was minimal, bro.
I don't have a problem with the fouls that Shea drew as long as it's called on the other end.
Exactly.
I don't have a problem with the contact some of these guys are getting away with as long as it's allowed on the other end. Like I think it's just the consistency issue that's there. And it's not just a Thunder thing, although like to your point, like they do seem to get a very favorable push from that. But it's also like, at least defensively, like we see this with Draymond Green all the time, right? When you are the aggressor defensively and you build that reputation, you get away with a lot.
Here's the thing,
and they've done that for 2 years now. They've built that reputation for 2 years now. And so they've earned some of that, I would say.
Here's the thing, though. And we talked about this yesterday.
I would also argue, let me add real quick. I would also argue, though, that Minnesota should have earned that too, based on how they've defended the last 2 years. And for some reason that didn't, like, because they've also been that kind of a defensive team.
Okay, so the best defensive teams, people like, oh, they all foul. Like Golden State in their prime. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, it was just Draymond fouling the shit out of people. Okay,
Draymond did foul the shit out of
people. He did enough.
Clay wasn't fouling people all game long, Clay wasn't dude. He wasn't either.
Zelly was getting them in too.
David West was getting them in.
The Ubuntu Celtics, yes, KG fouled on every single play. We know this. He moving screened on every single play. We know this. But it wasn't the whole team. Tony Allen, okay.
Tony Allen was doing some shit.
Son, the Thunder is the entire fucking team, bro. I've never, like, it's the whole team will foul you all game long, bro.
Yeah.
And shouts to them. They're fucking putting the pressure on the officials. They're doing the right thing. I'm just saying, like, you just watch basketball and I was like, guys, these are fouls, man.
But I'm cool with all the stuff they get away with defensively. It's just that when you then flip it, and Shea gets
they could never guard Shea Gilgeous-Alexander the way they guard everybody else.
Well, I don't know. Well, that's a good question.
Wow.
If they were allowed to guard Shea
against Caruso,
what
and
would
Dort
be the call? Would you give Shea the calls, or would you allow them to get away with the contact?
I tend to think
Tony Brothers and Scott Foster
they would get away with the contact.
I don't know.
I honestly do.
If he sneezed, they'd blow the whistle.
Also,
you can't predict how Tony Brothers would officiate that.
No,
it's going to be chaos tonight with him. I have he could give the Wolves 50 foul calls in their favor. He could eject the whole team. I have no idea what he's going to do tonight.
Tonight's going to be great.
And we don't know what orders Scott Foster's having there. Guys, we got to make sure that we promote the work. Make sure you check out all of the interviews that Waz has on HBO Max, as he is the CEO now. Make sure you check him out.
Celtic City what's the name of the doc?
It's a good question.
So I think it's Celtic City.
Celtic City.
That sounds right. Yeah. Make sure you're checking out that. Make sure you're checking out the
One more
Ringer
thing,
NBA
Zach,
show.
before we go. J. King, were you a big Mark Price guy?
Of course.
Not a huge Mark Price guy.
What? Oh, you know what?
Although
too much of a handle. He played a little too.
He was too good.
So part of my free throw form is due to Mark Price. Because he wrote.
Please elaborate on that.
Hold on.
He said in Sports Illustrated for Kids, I'll never forget it, that he put his right toe. He put his right toe on the nail at the free throw line, and that changed me when I was a kid.
Square.
Did you know that every Saturday, J. King plays in a men's league, and he texts our group chat
his stats,
the box score.
Oh,
they have a box score, printed out box score. And
I led the league in points and assists.
Maybe should go to Brent Price, his free throw form, because his free throw shooting is terrible.
I was like 66, 67%.
That's awful. You should be high 80s.
When you're 37 and don't play anymore, and you get to the line as much as I do.
You get to like 4 times. You get to like 4 times a game. What are you talking about?
J. King is a fucking maniac, man.
But to his credit, good game or bad game, that box score comes in.
Says about
he's not cherry picking box scores.
Accountability. Yeah. I like that.
Them all.
Absolutely.
Some of them get ugly too.
Salute, man. Big shout out to Detlef Shrimp too.
Real ugly. What?
90s
Why are we shutting up there?
Hoopers.
Oh, okay. But that's €2. We like white American hoopers
Rick
the most.
Smith's the Duncan Dutchman, so
that's
I figured Detlef Shrimp was
okay.
I don't have a type.
Yes, you do. That's not true. Aaron Kraft. All right. Make sure you check it out. Group chat, NBA show. Ringer NBA show. Make sure you check it out. All of Jay's Celtics coverage.
Did Pepe Sanchez make the cut on there, Jay, or no?
Pepe Sanchez was unreal. Yo, that dude could pass. Those Temple teams were fun to watch. Although I was a UMass fan.
They played in the 50s every single game. It was horrible brand of basketball, bro.
It was awful. I tried to troll Jay in the chat the other night, and it just turned into he didn't take the bait, and it just turned into him being nostalgic about college hoops, and it pissed me the fuck off. It was so upsetting. So upsetting. I just tried to make him mad, and he was just started talking about Michigan State Spartans basketball. Although we did get into a nice little Andre Hudson mention. Was cool. That kind of brought us together. Yeah. Make sure you check it out. The teardown of the Celtics this summer. With Jay's writing, and make sure you're checking out Still Potable, his podcast. Go to the Patreon, patreon.com/stillpotable. Make sure you check out The Bounce, free newsletter from The Athletic, theathletic.com/The Bounce. For Anthony Mays, for Proud American Wosny Lambre, for J. King, I'm Zach Harper. Keep your third eye open. Salute.